Lyubov will show us how we can leverage the SAP HANA Cloud Knowledge Graph engine to simplify database analysis. Lyubov is an AI architect currently and has a long history with SAP, working as a support engineer and doing machine learning and data science stuff to improve SAP's early watch alert service. Lyubov, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah. Thank you for being part also of this conference. I really also used still to tweak some Oracle optimizer, right? It was still possible, but yeah. So, and I really do not have any PPTs, but maybe instead of this, I would like to ask you some icebreaker question. So you know that HANA is a multi-model database, and I would like to ask you which kind of data types, with which kind of data types are you working in SAP HANA? So maybe except for relational data, or do you know that it's possible to work with HANA? Yes. Graph, yes, so you can read it, it's good. Yes, graph is also, yeah, now it's possible. Maybe some which one? Vectors, also the last year, it's also vectors, yes. Spatial data, also very good. Yeah, so actually, I guess now we have all of our additional, more or less exotic data types which have been added sequentially to the SAP HANA Cloud Engine. And yes, as you correctly said, now since also Q1 2025, since a couple of weeks, a couple of months, it is also possible to work with knowledge graph engine, with RDF triples in SAP HANA Cloud. And you can load the data and processes with SAP HANA Cloud. And for those of you who maybe do not know how these knowledge graph look like and how such an RDF triple store looks like, so I will show it for you. So it looks like this. And basically, these are already the commands how to drop it if you have it already, and how to insert data from such an RDF triple file. And in this case, you can see that I have used it just as a string from where all of my relationships from different S/4HANA tables are saved like this. But you have also the possibility, for example, to upload this data from a file, from an object store. So quite a flexibility how to work with this RDF triples, and how to upload them to your database. And you can see that we have always such a triple with a subject, predicate, object. And in this case, it looks still a little bit cryptic, but with this, we can represent different objects which are saved in SAP HANA Cloud. But, and I have executed this, and now we have our S/4HANA database graph in our database, and I can show it to you. So we are switching to SAP HANA Database Explorer, with which we could work, for example, on this. And we would like to see how many graphs and what kind of graphs we have saved there, and how many triples are being stored there. And we can see, yes, there were some trials with these database dependencies. We have, of course, our KG docu movies, right? Everybody has this, no? Who started to work with a knowledge graph in SAP HANA Cloud. And we have here our S/4HANA database graph with 58,000 of different triples that we have saved for these tables. And also you can see that we have a graph ontology below this. And I will now come a little bit later to what this ontology is and how we build it, and why do we need also this graph ontology in order to work further with our graph structure. And now I can also already show you that, in order to work to retrieve the information from such a graph, which is represented as a triple store, we also introduced the Sparkle engine into HANA. And with this Sparkle query, you can retrieve the information which is saved in such a graph. So it means that you can really combine with a SQL in such an SQL table, you can retrieve the information which is saved here in your graph. For example, in this case, we would like to see what kind of classes we have saved in our S/4HANA DB store. And we can see that we have different classes such as view, table, ABAP component, procedure, function, trigger, synonym. So maybe you know all of these objects, because if you work, of course, as a database administrator, you are working on a daily basis with these tables, with this kind of object types. And to see what we have created, we have also the possibility here in our database explorer, we have the possibility to create a graph workspace where basically the information from our triple store will be replicated, and we will see this graphical representation of our mass of our tables and their connections in different procedures, functions, views, and so on. Because, you know, such as S/4HANA system can be kind of complicated, as you can see. And even you can see here, for example, we have our AC Docker table, and it already looks like a mess. And we can see that 387 nodes have been even hidden because it's not possible to show all of this. And also here we can see that some of them, the connections are hidden because it's not possible to show all of that. But yeah, so this is basically how to do this, and to know, for example, what is our AC Docker table, how many records does it contain, how much memory does it consume, main memory, and also, of course, which are the tables they share common procedures and so on. And of course, now we can retrieve it with the SQL. We can see it graphic representations, but there is even a cooler thing how to work with this and how to do this analysis even simpler. It would be just asking questions, the same questions in a natural language. And I will show you how to do this because it's possible. And it is possible also due to many things. So first of all, due to the availability of HANA Graph Engine now in SAP HANA Cloud, and also of the delivery of the long chain HANA library, which also has been delivered by the team, but the HANA team, which is a long chain library with which you can create a graph object and HANA Sparkle Q&A chain, with which this object would be taken as a basis to process your natural language question, translate it into Sparkle query, executed it on the SAP HANA Cloud, to which you are connected here with the help of HTTP client, retrieve the information from this database, translate it back into the natural language, and give you the answer in this natural language that you can see. And we have also the possibility for this object, for this HANA Sparkle QA chain object, we have the possibility to choose any kind of large language models that we would include in this processing in order to be able to work with this natural language queries to translate them into Sparkle and to translate back the retrieved results into natural language. And in this case, we have taken also Chat OpenAI library from our GenAI hub. So it means it's ChatGPT then model which is deployed on our GenAI hub. With this, we are staying in the SAP environment without the need to leave SAP environment, without the need to work with the third parties directly. So it means also if you would, for example, develop your own applications, you can completely work within SAP environment within BTP and AI core, even though you are using, for example, third-party large language models such as ChatGPT in this case. And yeah, so here we are just connecting to the database using the key saved in a JSON format. And here we are creating our knowledge graph object. And for this, you can see we need these entities. We need our S4HANA, we need our graph, and we need here the ontology in order to be able to process the graph information. And here at this stage, I would like to show you a little bit what the ontology is and also why it is so important in order to retrieve the information, to work with this information which is saved in such a graph. So we have seen that this graph contains a kind of 60,000 entries. And if you would like to process this 60,000 entries with the help of a large language model, it would not be possible. That's why you have to represent the semantic relationships which are included in your graph in this ontology. And here you can specify what is a table, what is a view, what is a procedure, and also the relationship that a table is a part of a view, table is a part of procedure. And with this additional semantic information, the large language would know how to create a Sparkle query and how to retrieve the information back. So here we have created our HANA RDF graph. We have also chosen, for example, in this case, is our ChatGPT 4.0 model. And now we are creating with this large language models with our graph, our Q&A chain, and and with this chain, with this components, we can ask questions regarding our knowledge graph in a natural language and would get the answers. And for example, the first question is an easy one that we would like to ask is, how many tables are represented here? And we will see what is happening. So we can see that on the first stage, this question has been translated in Sparkle QL. We can see that here it was redefined, and we can see that the answer of this query was 68. So it was 68 top tables from that particular S4HANA system. And here this query is also being translated in a natural language. Of course, in this case, it's very easy. There are 68 tables represented here. We can also ask a little bit more complicated questions, because we have seen that we have such predicates of our table such as records, a number of records, memory, and so on, as we have seen. And we can ask which table has the highest number of records. And we will get also here the answer according to the information provided. The table ADID 4 has the highest number of records with approximately 4.5 billion records, right? So it's also nice. Of course, you could query this, but it is already there. We can also ask something like this. We can ask which table has the most connections, right? And maybe you already all know the answer. Yes, if you work with S4HANA System Finance. So surprise, surprise. Yes, we have AC Docker, and look at this. It has like almost 4,000 connections. So it means it involves in almost 4,000 procedures, views, functions, and so on. So it's crazy. And here we can ask a little bit more sophisticated question. For example, how many records are in the AC Docker table? How much memory does it consume? And to which other component does it belong? And so that we have modeled this information, we will also have here the answer to this question that IC Docker table contains like 1 billion records, 60 gigabyte of main memory, and belongs to this FIGLGL component. So yeah, so this is how you can work with with this long chain module and with a knowledge graph.
Thank you so much. So what we have seen is how you can collect database information into a knowledge graph using RDF and Sparkle and exposing a natural language interface on top of that graph so that users can ask questions to the actual knowledge graph. If you're a little bit confused because you've been doing relational tables and bar charts the last 10, 20 years, bear with me, it's an interesting technology. You can pick it up. It's very hot at the moment. But with that, over to questions.
Thank you. It's very good. I'm just curious about how you can access. Is it available on all HANA systems in HANA Cloud?
It is available on HANA Cloud system. Yeah, maybe from the or do you want to add something?
Well, I mean, technically it's part of HANA Cloud since QRC2. You need to explicitly switch it on in the configuration. That thing is called triple store. So if you add triple store to the configuration and start your HANA, then the triple store is there. That means RDF can be stored and Sparkle can be used to query. Okay. No extra license. It's an injectable part, but of course you need to size your HANA accordingly because there's data in there. Yeah. Excuse me? Well, the short answer is no. HANA Cloud, that's it. Other questions? Yeah.
Thank you very much for this impressive presentation. It was what you are asking to now was administration,
Yes.
How much tables and so on. Can you go inside? Because I saw you had a number. Can you ask also for material number or customer numbers?
So it's a very good question, so we have modeled this information in our knowledge graph. So we have put this information in the knowledge graph, and this particular knowledge graph contains the information about the relationship between the tables. But of course, you can model exactly like this your relationship between your materials, like material number, which material is a part of a product, where it was produced, whatever. You can model it like this, and then also ask these questions. Yeah.
One, please.
Also debitors and customers?
Everything. So right, you can really model the information about anything you want in such a way as a triple store, and then you can ask questions based on this. So basically, it's like really can model any kind of information like this. Yeah.
Last one over there, please.
Hello. Yeah. So I understand you have two types: the knowledge graph type and the old graph type. And you used briefly a graph type to traverse or to your knowledge graph. Is that what I saw?
So,
or did I just see you working with Spark SQL, working directly with the knowledge graph only?
Yeah. So I work for this Q&A application. I work just with the triple store and with this new representation of the knowledge graph, and you would not need this this transformation to the old type. But I wanted to show you this visualization of a graph, and for this I have transformed it to this old graph type, yeah, to have this visualization in the Knowledge Explorer. But of course, it's nice to have it. That's a
Yeah, visualization is often a topic, and when it comes to demo or exploration, less so if you're ending up in a use case for an end user. But that's a gap currently. Let's put it like that. Not everything's working. That brings us to the end of this session. Another round of applause, please, for Lyubov.